How to be creative even when you don't feel like it. So, this is something that every single writer faces, or any professional creative faces at some point in their career. And if we're being honest, you're going to face it multiple times in your career. There's going to be many times where you don't feel like working for the day, you don't feel like engaging in creative output, you don't feel like doing anything. And so, this video is going to be about how to continue with creative output even when you don't feel like it, and how to essentially hack your brain and hack your mind into being willing to continue doing work and getting back into a creative flow state, which is extremely important for doing anything creatively professionally for your living. So the first thing you want to do if you're not feeling creative is you want to get up, stand up, walk around, and have a sip of water. Take a quick drink of water. And the reason this is so valuable and effective is because it forces your brain to change its state, right? So you have to, in order to get up, you have to physically stand up. You have to physically use your body. And same goes with taking a drink of water. Now they're really simple things, but it forces your brain to be thinking in a different capacity. And that's extremely important because it's a pattern interrupt. And it's the same reason that people use video editing to make a video look something like this, make it look less like it's just one big monologue and you're just staring at the same frame in the same screen over and over again. So the reason that physical pattern interrupt works so well is because your brain is automatically starting to do something different. You're disrupting what you had been doing for however long before. If you were sitting down for like 30 minutes and you're trying to type out a blog post, or you're working on a fiction story or something like that, and you're just like, man, it is just not working. And your brain is being forced to stay in that pattern. It's thinking about one linear thing, one series of event, like one series of things over and over again. So it breaks the pattern. It allows your brain to like step outside of the box for a minute. Another thing you can do is just write your thoughts down. A lot of the times what we face as creatives is the difficulty of trying to make something creative while doing the same idea over and over again, or going at it from the same approach. And oftentimes what we have to do to break that cycle is we have to write everything down, because sometimes when all your ideas are locked up in here, it's harder to see what is actually going to work and what won't work. Or sometimes writing something down clarifies what you're thinking too. Sometimes you have something that's on the tip of your tongue, or you're just on the very precipice of an idea, but you just can't figure it out yet and you don't know why. Maybe writing something down will make it easier to clarify that idea, and you'll therefore be able to see if the idea is relevant to what you're doing, or also if if you know it's already relevant, it allows you to organize things better and allows you to see things in pieces and in chunks better. And sometimes just getting everything down can help you move from step to step faster. I've talked about this before with headline writing, blog post writing, ebook writing, things like that. Writing an outline is so crucial for every single thing that you do, because if you don't write an outline, you're basically forcing your brain to think of every new step like every single time. And if you write the outline first, your brain can automatically see the connection between those 2 or 3 separate pieces, or however many pieces there are. So that's another thing you can do. A third thing that you can do is go for a walk. Like take a couple minutes and just physically move your body and shake yourself out of the mental state that is a natural byproduct of being stationary in a physical state, if that makes sense. So yeah, half the time what makes it so difficult to be prolific or to be consistently outputting stuff that you want is because you're physically doing the same thing. If you're writing at a desk, this is about all the movement that your body has in that particular time. And that's not bad. I mean, you have to be you can't be like writing while you're jumping out of a plane or anything, and people know that, but still you have to be stationary to do it. But sometimes just physically getting out into a new environment, even for a little bit of time, helps your brain reset, and it just allows you to approach things from a new perspective, and it allows you to carry that momentum further and further into your work day or into your work session, because sometimes you've sat down and you're working for like an hour or 2 hours or something like that, and all of a sudden you're just not feeling the same way that you did when you sat down. And right when you sit down at first, it's easy to be focused, it's easy to be motivated, but then as you go on, you lose that steam, you lose that energy. So yeah, go up and stand up and take a walk, go outside, get some fresh air. It works wonders. There's there's something about doing something physically that makes it a lot easier to do something mentally too. So another thing you can do to continue being creative and just not feel like you're being bogged down all the time by this, just sitting and doing the same thing over and over again, is don't force yourself to be creative. If you're not feeling creative, if the ideas aren't coming, the story isn't flowing, whatever it may be, just stick to the fact that, it's not going to be perfect every single day, and it doesn't need to be. You decide to just come back later and pick up where you left off. It's totally okay to have days where you're not having the same level of creative output that you did the day before or the week before. You're not going to have perfect ideas every single day, so you shouldn't force yourself to. And a final thing you can do to enhance your creative output and stay focused is do something that's the opposite of what you're doing. So kind of like I said with if you're a writer, maybe go for a quick walk, come back 15, 20 minutes later, see if it works then. Do something that's the opposite. Do something that will stimulate your mind in a way that you wouldn't otherwise. And that is how to continue to be creative even when you don't feel like being creative. Thanks for checking out this video. Check out more of my work in the link description area below, and I appreciate you tuning in.